Good morning students. Welcome to our online video class of chemistry. We had completed our second chapter, Is Matter Around Us Pure? Today we are going to start new chapter, chapter 3, Atoms and Molecules. Now you know what is matter. What is matter? Matter is anything which has mass and occupies space. And everything around us and every substance which we are dealing with our daily life are made up of matter. So it is important to study about matter. Then what is an atom and molecule? In this chapter we will study about what is atom and what is molecule. Let us go through history of atoms. And Greek philosophers proposed the idea of divisibility of atom. Around 500 BC, Indian philosopher Maharshi Kanath proposed that if we keep on dividing the matter, we will get smaller and smaller particle of matter. Ultimately, we will get smaller particle of matter which cannot be divided into further. For example, paper. It is made up of matter. If we crushed it, it turns into fine powder. And it is possible to divide the single particle of the powder into further? It is very difficult to divide that particle into further. Based on this philosophy, Kanada was the first person who proposed matter is made up of very small particle that is called paramanu. And ancient Greek philosophers Democritus and Leucippus suggested that if we go on dividing matter, a stage will reach. At that stage, we cannot divide the matter into further units. And Democritus called the indivisible particle as atoms. Atom, which means indivisible. Atom is derived from Greek word atomos, which means indivisible. And who suggested the name atom? It is Democritus. What is called atom? Matter is made up of small particle. It is called atom. Atom is the smallest fundamental unit of a matter which cannot be divided into further. And the combined form of atom is called molecule. We will now discuss about laws of chemical combination. And thus law of chemical combination which confirm the idea of being atom is made up of tiny particle. There are mainly two chemical combination, law of chemical combination. That is law of conservation of mass and law of constant or definite proportion. And law of conservation of mass was proposed by Anthony Lavoisier. And law of constant or definite proportion was proposed by Joseph L. Proust. First law is law of conservation of mass, and it was given by Anthony Lavoisier. And it states that Mass can neither be created nor be destroyed in a chemical reaction. In a chemical reaction, the reactants react together to form the product. What is the law? Matter can neither be created nor be destroyed. That means during a chemical reaction, the sum of masses of the reactant and product remain unchanged, or number of atoms of each element on the product side will be equal to the reactant side. For example, carbon plus oxygen. Let us consider a reaction. Use carbon dioxide. The mass of carbon is 12 gram, and mass of oxygen is, atomic mass of oxygen is 16. There are two oxygen atom, then 2 into 16, which is equal 32 gram. Then carbon. What is the atomic mass of carbon? That is 12 plus 2 into 32, 60. Then we know that. Let us check on reactant side. Reactants are carbon and oxygen. Then the mass of carbon is 12 gram and oxygen is 32 gram. Here the number of atom of each element, that is number of oxygen atom, equal 2. Then 2 into its atomic mass 16 equal 32 gram. Here what is the total? That is 12 plus 32, which is equal 44 gram. Then let us check on product side. Product is carbon dioxide, CO2. And what is its mass? 12 plus 2 into 16. That is equal 12 plus 32. That is 44 gram. Here both reactant side, mass of reactant side and mass of product side is equal. That is the law. During a chemical reaction, the sum of the masses of reactant and product remain unchanged. Law of constant or definite proportion. The law of constant proportion was given by Joseph Proust in 1779. And the law states that elements combine in their definite proportion of mass to give the compound, or in a chemical substance, the elements are always present in definite proportion by mass. That is, a chemical compound always consists of same elements combined together in same proportion by mass. We have studied that. What is a compound? Compound which is formed by combination of two or more elements. And according to this law, the elements combine to give the compound have definite proportion of mass. The elements which combine have definite proportion of mass. For an example, whatever be the source from which it is obtained, a pure chemical compound is always made up of same elements in the same mass percentage. For example, water. Water is a compound which always consists of same two elements, that is hydrogen and oxygen. what is the chemical formula of water? That is H2O. It is made up of two elements, that is hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen and oxygen combine together in the same constant proportion of 1:8 by mass. That means 1 part by the mass of hydrogen and 8 part by the mass of oxygen. 1 is the ratio corresponding to hydrogen and 8 is the ratio which corresponding to mass of oxygen. Whatever be the source of water, if water is spring from any other countries, or if it is rainwater or tap water, water is always consist of same two elements, that is hydrogen and oxygen, and its ratio is 1:8 by mass. Its mass ratio is 1:8. They combine together in same constant proportion of 1:8 by mass.